This next question comes from Advait Prasad in New York. He writes, today, Berkshire holds over $300 billion in cash and short-term investments, representing about 27% of total assets, a historically high figure compared to the 13% average over the last 25 years. This has also led Berkshire to effectively own nearly 5% of the entire U.S. Treasury market. Beyond the need for liquidity to meet insurance obligations, is the decision to raise cash primarily a de-risking strategy in response to high market valuations, or is it also a deliberate effort to position Berkshire's balance sheet for a smoother leadership transition, providing Greg Abel with maximum flexibility and a clean slate for future capital allocation decisions? And I will add one line from another shareholder, Mike Conway, who asks, are you encouraged you may see some fat pitches coming your way?
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't do anything nearly so noble as to withhold investing myself just so that Greg could look good later on. Now, if he gets any edge when I leave, I'll resent it. So the amount of cash we have, we would spend, well, we came pretty close to spending $10 billion not that long ago, for example. But we'd spend $100 billion. I mean, and those decisions are not tough to make. When something is offered that makes sense to us and that we understand and offers good value and where we don't worry about losing. And the one problem with the investment business is that things don't come along in an orderly fashion, and they never will. I mean, it isn't like every day. The long-term record is sensational, but that is not a product. And I've had 200 trading days times 80 years. I mean, 16,000 trading days. It would be nice if every day you got 4 opportunities or something like that, and and they were expected to be equally attractive. If I was running a numbers racket, every day would have the same expectancy of that I would keep 40% of whatever the handle was, and so the only question would be is how much we transacted. But we're not running that kind of a business, and so we're running a business which is very, very, very opportunistic. And Charlie always thought I did too many things. He thought if we did about 5 things in our lifetime, we'd end up doing better than if we did 50, and that we never concentrated enough. So that we would rather have, if we've got $335 billion now in treasuries, we would rather have conditions that are developed where we would have like $50 billion or something like that. But that just isn't the way the business works. And we have made a lot of money by not wanting to be fully invested at all times. And we don't think it's improper, actually, for people who are passive investors just to make a few simple investments and sit for their life in them. But we've made the decision to be in the business, so we think we can do a little better than that by behaving in a very irregular manner. But if you told me that I had to invest, let's say that we have a roughly $40 billion a year coming in, and we start with 335. If you told me I had to invest $50 billion every year till we got down to $50 billion, that would be the dumbest thing in the world to invest in that manner. Things get extraordinarily attractive very occasionally. The long-term trend is up. Nobody knows. And I certainly don't know. Greg doesn't know. Ajit doesn't know. Nobody knows what the market is going to do tomorrow, next week, next month, and nobody knows what business is going to do tomorrow, next week, or next month. But they spend all their time talking about it because it's easy to talk about, but it has no value. I've never found anybody I wanted to listen to on the subject. And on the other hand, I've found that leafing through things like that big Japanese book that I can't read anymore, that's a treasure hunt. And every now and then you find something, and occasionally, very occasionally, but it'll happen again, that I don't know when. It could be next week, it could be 5 years off, but it won't be 50 years off. We will be bombarded with offerings that we'll be glad we have the cash for. And it'd be a lot more fun if it would happen tomorrow, but it's very unlikely to happen tomorrow. Very, very unlikely to happen tomorrow. But it's not unlikely to happen in 5 years. And then the probabilities get higher as you go along. It's kind of like death. I mean, if you're 10 years old, the chances that you're going to die the next day are low. If you get to be 115 or something like that, it's almost a cinch. Particularly if you're a male. I mean, all the records are held by females in terms of age. And I tried to get Charlie to have a sex change so he could test out whether. He did pretty well for being a male, I'll put it that way.